right, it says that we are live, so let me make sure this is gonna show up. Yeah, there you go, right there. Okay, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's your man Chris Thorns here. We are here. Brother Judge O'Brown just called in, y'all. He said he was waiting on me to call him, so I guess that's a mistake on my part because uh, I thought he was gonna call me, but he waiting on me to call him. But he is on the phone now, people. So let's have a show. Your Honor, thank you so much, man. How you doing this evening?
All right, all right. I'm doing fine.
All right,
We're
awesome.
just carrying on over here from a little something that went on early today.
Okay,
There's a number of brothers and I. We get together every Sunday. We do 2 or 3 hours of radio, and we try to spread the word. We had a
okay,
sister on today who
okay.
was from the Democratic Party Central Committee, but we weren't too happy with it. Not too happy at all. She was trying to tell us that we needed to change our definition so that manhood didn't have to include masculinity. So we wanted to know what the devil she meant by manhood, not including masculinity. So
Right.
she wanted to talk about all of the LGBT types that ought to be included in manhood. And we just said, well, all right, First Amendment, they have their rights, but that's not in our definition.
hmm Yeah, I kind of heard that a little bit of that show that you did. I would like to talk about that even more about the manhood thing. So, what is your take on everything? Do you feel like it's being stripped from us, or what do you think about that?
Well, I'm like this. I'm kind of hardcore on manhood and masculinity. It is first and foremost and paramount, and it's what makes humanity what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you have a limited pool of boys from which to develop tomorrow's men, and it takes a lot of work to turn a boy into a man
Absolutely.
and to keep him there.
Yes, sir.
So, seems that some people, the feminists, the LGBT crowd, etc., they want to absorb that pool of boys into something else other than masculine men. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, they have got their rights to be whatever they want, but that doesn't mean you're a man because you exercise those rights to be
Absolutely.
what you want. Being a man is about duty, honor, and obligation, not what you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask you this,
Yes, sir.
Judge, and I'm glad you brought that up because I have a hard time understanding, what will make a man not comfortable in his skin that he does want to turn into a transgender or whatnot. Is it uh, peer pressure from the parenting or
I, I have I have no idea. I can't even conceptualize that. So I've heard people, I've worked around people, I've employed people that might be that way, but I don't understand it.
right?
I don't get it. It's
Neither,
like it does not compute.
right? Absolutely right. I don't understand it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a call in number open if you want to call in to speak with him. Now, let me make it known. He said that he cannot give legal advice. So, you're looking for legal advice, he cannot do that. But anything you want to know about the law, he can speak on the law. Let me repeat that.
Yeah.
He cannot give legal advice. But if you want to know anything about the law, he can speak on the law. If you want to call in, the number's in the description box, and it tells you everything you need to do to call in. Even if you want to call in and say hey to him, you are more than welcome to say that to him. But once again, he cannot talk about no legal advice, but he can talk about the law. All right. So, and once again, thank you, Judge, for doing this show with me, man. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna keep you long, but I have another question, because I saw a tweet, and maybe you could elaborate on this even more. I saw a tweet, and I think the gentleman, his name is Sean King, and let me see if I could pull this up, because you said some on this post that caught my attention, and I want to know if you would elaborate more on how do you feel about this. So let me see if I can uh find it. Where is it? Where is this? Okay, here we go. So the tweet was he was saying that a 15-year-old by the name of Dayon Davis, an honest student, stole a pair of Jordans. They tried him as an adult, and they sentenced him to 5 years in adult prison plus 10 years on probation. And he said this is the new Jim Crow. And you responded to that, and you told him, you said, hey, wake up. This goes all day in and day out. A damn shame nobody pays attention to something like this hits social media. The so-called juvenile justice system needs scrutiny. Many of their injustices that are simply routine business. Maybe we need to get rid of the juvenile courts. And I like one thing you said in there. We don't pay attention to a
Yeah,
lot of stuff.
juvenile courts are obsolete. They no longer have serve a function. For the most part, across the country, and especially here in Memphis, Shelby County, they become privatized and they're money-making propositions. To a
Mm-hmm.
great extent, they're corrupted, and their long-term goal is to create chaos in families to generate business for them that will raise money for their investors. Now, back to the other thing. At one point in Tennessee, halfway through the 10 years I was on the criminal bench, you had provisions in the law that if somebody was going to be tried as an adult and they were a juvenile, the criminal court judge would have a hearing to determine whether he would accept that person to be tried as an adult or send them back down to juvenile court.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened here is we had a real corrupt situation. We had a incompetent for a judge for 50 years, Kenneth Turner, who was a sixth grade dropout, and that was as far as he got in school. So he hired a bunch of lawyers to do what he couldn't do. Because the Supreme Court said he had insufficient knowledge of the law, and one of them was a Curtis Persons who eventually succeeded him, but was also acting not only as a referee, but as the special judge, and was on the state Senate's Judicial Committee as a state senator. So he was holding multiple roles down. And he passed a regulation, or got one passed, so that criminal court judges could no longer remand the juvenile back to be treated as a juvenile. So what they've done with that invariably is they run juveniles through over and over and over again. They have no concept. They're incompetent to determine what's going to be best to do something about rehabilitating that child.
Mm-hmm.
And when they've made all the money that they can make off of him, then they send him down to criminal court because their whole system is set up basically only to handle the best behaved boys and send the worst behaving ones back to their mamas who can't control them.
Mm.
And then eventually send them to criminal court so they don't have to be bothered with them when they become too big a threat. Now, that's bad. But now, back on this thing, I went and did some little checking around on this case, and I kept getting conflicting data. The way it is carried on is he did basically something that was petty theft, and he's supposed to have gotten 5 years in as an adult, probation and some other stuff. But then I also started running into about the same number of counter stories where we were talking about there was a firearm involved, so it would have made an armed robbery. So instead of it being a travesty of really dumping on a 15-year-old, it was really slacking on him because it should have been an armed robbery charge. Now, I stopped at that point because I can see both sides of the issue, and I was not able to determine a set of facts that satisfied me comfortably as what was an accurate set of facts. We've got a lot of things going on. For example, Kim Kardashian, an amateur porn princess, meets with the president about prison reform, and her thing is there is a 62-year-old woman, a Memphis woman, who got a considerable amount of time in jail or in the penitentiary, and Kardashian says she's innocent and should be pardoned. But on the other hand, delving a little bit differently into it, I think I ran into the woman. I had 6 people on trial for first-degree murder. It was a major hit behind a drug cartel trying to wipe out a drug lord here in Memphis on behalf of another one. and there was somebody that kept coming in the middle who was making phone arrangements for massive shipments of cocaine that were being manufactured into crack. And it turns out this woman is the one that a lot of people were looking for. And it may be she didn't get enough time and definitely does not deserve a pardon. It's supposed to be a victimless offense. But in the woman's own words, she was bragging that she had been what she called, quote, a phone mule, as the intermediary to set up transactions involving tons of cocaine from a Mexican drug cartel. Now, there was a certain somebody from Memphis that became number 3 man in Mexico's number 1 drug cartel that was responsible for running a Murder Incorporated, that was responsible for a lot of homicides around this area, a lot of crack being put out into the neighborhood, and a lot of dysfunction. So before anybody pardons anybody, somebody needs to make sure that this isn't, in fact, the missing intermediary that people were looking for.
Right.
I mean, it even got down to the point where there were 3 double homicides where rivals in another outfit got kidnapped with their mothers and then buried alive. You know, that's a little weird there, but it was the case. So we get a lot of stuff going on, and the bottom line is right now you can't trust the news. 2 cents
Hey, I know that's
worth
right,
of
brother.
trust.
I know that's right.
And they cherry pick stuff. They pick cases that they want the public to look at as, oh my God, how horrible. And then say, well, there are only a few hundred of them a week. Why'd they pick this one? Cherry pick that particular case.
Exactly.
Just was a boring, dull day news-wise, and this just happened to come across the wire. So you got a 23-year-old wrote up the copy for some talking head on one of the local or the national stations to read as it scrolled across the camera lens, and he could see through that reflecting screen. And it looked like he's talking to you on the camera, but he's reading something a 23-year-old put up there, and nobody's qualified for being a real reporter to go out and get to the bottom of anything. And most of them are too damn ignorant and too undereducated and too ill-advised about reality to just do a damn thing.
Right.
Now, I met Walter Cronkite and, Ed Bradley and that bunch, and it was like walking encyclopedias. This bunch of goofballs you've got right now is more into their makeup shade than anything else.
Right. Judge, they got this thing, I don't know if it hit Memphis yet, but I seen it on the news not too long ago that they got a project going on where a lot of women are getting together to release mothers from jail. And I think it was around Mother's Day. I don't know if they still got it going on.
Say again.
Now.
I got some static there. Can you say that again?
Okay. They had a project going on. I don't know if it's still going on now, but I know around Mother's Day, a group of women had got together and they were saying, they trying to put a thing together where they can relieve mothers that's in prison. Because I guess for some reason they don't believe mothers should be in prison for Mother's Day. I'm not sure if you heard of that or not.
Well, let me put it this way. There are people in the penitentiaries that don't belong there, but more belong there than don't. You know, with the crimes that we get put in the penitentiary for aren't exactly going out playing Robin Hood. You're ripping off your neighbor, your relatives, your co-workers. You're making your neighborhood generally a miserable place to be, filled with chaos and unnecessary danger. The truth of the matter is somewhere around 97.6.8% of the people in the penitentiaries, including the women, pled guilty. They didn't get found guilty by a jury. Just about 2% of the inmates in a pen are there because the jury found them guilty.
Yeah.
And somewhere around 85%, it's hovered that way for years and years, confessed. And what always used to get me is I would have in my courtroom somebody that's trying to front off about being an OG, and he's got all this posse in there trying to back him up and just throwing signs at each other.
Right.
And then we retired at Chambers to look at a video of him giving the confession. He's going, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. God's running out his nose. Punk ass, you can be still punk ass. And he's got crying and tears running down. And then you go back out and you look at him in the courtroom. Yeah, man, you know, it's on recess. Yeah, man, you know, it's all down, man. Say you punk. All you had to do, they wouldn't have had a case on your punk behind if you just say, I take the Fifth Amendment. You up in there crying for your mama and
there you go. There you go. Exactly.
And having to pass this damn fool some paper towels right the snot off the front of his, whatever that smock is they put on.
Preach, Judge, preach. Preach. But you know what, Judge, in my opinion, and I'm pretty much sure you agree with me, in my opinion, a lot of guys who like that because they ain't had no positive male role model in their house, so they've been under mama so long and mama pacified them. Because I'm pretty much sure you heard that a lot. No matter how old you get, you still my baby. Yeah, that's still your baby, but that's a grown-ass man. How you going to accomplish anything? You constantly winging him. You know, I don't get that.
See, and like I used to have the other thing that I really got off on, really didn't like, was you're a real man. You have 46 children outside. How many of you pay child support? I don't need to, Your Honor.
Yes.
You know, my women take care of them for me. That ain't no man, you little punk.
Thank you.
What's the matter?
Thank you.
You a punk, so you trying to prove you can be a breeding machine? That ain't being a man.
Thank you.
Or how you support yourself?
No, it's not, sir.
Absolutely.
If the court was disposed to put you on probation, how would you support yourself? I don't see it from this report. Yo, Your Honor, I got 4 ladies take care of me. 2 got good JOBs. 1 get a crazy chick. The other one get AFDC. They take good care of me. Well, what do you do?
Thank you.
Smooths them out. What do you do?
Nothing.
Thank you.
That doesn't sound like a man. What are you, a gigolo or something?
And thank you. See,
that's what it sounds like.
I had no idea.
What are they doing? You a drone? What is your word? Tell me something. You ignorant fool. Being all over the world have been learning how to handle where their environments are, put something in their heads. You have nothing in there. You ain't even a good gangster because your women do it for you.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know.
Your women and your mama.
I don't know where they came from with men think that makes them a real man just because how many females they poke. I mean, how's that make you a real man? Just like you said, though, you ain't got no job or you barely making ends meet and your money going straight to them. You know, how they make you a real man? Who taught you that hitting multiple females that makes you a real man? I don't get the mindset these folks.
And then what gives me, you see them in court trying to back this fool up, and
right.
You can't say it on the record, but you thinking, man, at least can you deal with a pretty looking woman? All them are ugly. Shoot, who cares? What's wrong? What's the matter with you?
I guess they think any woman is better than a good woman, Judge.
We got somebody on the phone line, Joe. We actually had 2 people. I don't know whoever dropped off. You want to call back in? Call back in. You know the line is open. But anyway, though, let me go. Let's see. This is like from my hometown. What's up, West Tennessee?
Hey, my name's Dylan. I'm actually I stay right here in Memphis in Cordova, Shelby County. So just want to say, Judge, I remember.
Hold on, brother. What's your name? What's your name? You ain't got to give your real name, but just make up a name. What's your name, brother?
My name's Dylan.
Dylan?
Dylan, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember, I'm 24 now, but I remember, growing up being a little one, watching it on the TV, and it was always good stuff. So I just want to say that, to speak with you, to be honest. But, I was listening earlier, just about the fact about manhood and masculinity.
Hey, do you got something playing in the background, brother? You got something playing in the background? Because I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
I'm on the radio, sir. I'm on the radio.
I don't have
okay.
anything going on. Sorry. No, not just playing in my background, man. So, basically, I heard, about the masculinity and manhood thing, about the LGBTQ or whatever. And I don't think that you have to give up your masculinity or your manhood, to be okay with, however someone else wants to live their life, But I don't think that, you have to raise your child be like that. I think it comes from childhood. In my opinion. And it starts with, I wouldn't say it starts with openness. I think it's a good and bad of being allowed to, have access to that environment, to be introduced to it so young. But at the same time, I think that, it's a societal norm that we grow up as a man, and the culture affects as a man. And I think that, again, our ability to be lax about that has given us freedoms to explore those things, especially in 2018. But I guess the point I'm making is don't see where you have to sacrifice, the standard traditions of masculinity while, and not being able to be open, accepting of, others for sex or sexual orientation.
Okay, somebody got a TV running or something.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, whoever got the TV or radio running, man, you need to put it on mute or something.
I really couldn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah, me either. You got a TV or radio or something playing in the background, brother?
No, I don't have TV on. Can you hear me now?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, it look like somebody. It might be my brother, DJC. Go ahead. I think I hear you now. Go ahead, brother, but speak a little louder.
No, I don't have nothing on.
Sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead. Now speak a little louder. Speak a little louder.
I guess, I was thinking, to you earlier, talk about the masculinity and manhood, as far as the LGBT. And while I agree, that society, the societal norms, is so open and involved with the openness, sexual orientation, your gender, sexual, whatever they want to call it these days. I don't see where, we have to sacrifice our manhood or masculinity, and while we can still be okay and accepting of others, whatever their sexual orientation is, and I don't think it's a wrong thing. I don't think she was correct when she said that, we have to give up, the tradition of, masculinity. It's not about being, androgynous or anything like that. We can still be, take care of our families and provide for them and stuff like that. And we don't have to give that up, just to be accepting of others. So I guess, I'm a little confused on where that comes from.
That comes from some people that don't like manhood.
Yeah.
We are their enemy.
I mean,
that's not the right thing. See, there is a person, a late individual by the name of Joseph Goebbels, minister of propaganda for the Nazis. He said, you tell a lie one time, it's a lie. You tell it 1,000 times, it becomes true. Tell a lie or anything long enough and loud enough, and you can get anybody to believe it. So you have people who have an interest in destroying manhood or masculinity, and they've been putting out a lie for the longest, and they are really going flat out right now to push it and trying to change the paradigm of what manhood and masculinity consist of. I just had a debate today, somebody that came on, and it was, you don't have to have masculinity and manhood, and that's an oxymoron. You can't have manhood without masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
See, all those other things, what do they call it, that ugly ad against Botox? Caitlyn, Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
He can be what he wants to be, but that ain't a man. And it ain't a woman either. As far as I'm concerned, it's a thing. He's entitled to be a thing, but, people deal with all sorts of things about his self-hate. So it can go over that way, and I wish these women that don't like men anyway would wear a discreet sign saying we don't like men, so you can know, well, don't pay any attention to them.
I know that's
all
right.
of these other women they're trying to be attractive. They want you to pay attention. You won't get turned off to them by dealing with something that's a strange beast over here that doesn't like the opposite sex. That's their right not to. But let us know. Come on out the closets. That's the way the thing is, so we don't have to play around and worrying about offending one of them. Because if you look cross-eyed at one of them, they want to get upset about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Call the law.
Exactly.
See, my confusion about that is, and I understand, I guess some of them are under the stigmata that we oppress, people different from us as men, And while this may be the true over, the course of the history, and that's the same for all types of issues, and not just sexual orientation, but going back, there was, race and then, women's suffrage, so all types of things. And so I understand that, but I don't understand, in my mind, I don't have to give up my masculinity or my manhood to be accepting of people, transgendered or whatever else they may be. And I don't understand why I have to sacrifice or remove that from myself in order to be accepting of them. So that's my confusion. I don't understand why my manhood, is a problem. When I don't see them as a problem.
It isn't the problem. They are the problem, not you.
Yeah.
See, all the time, historically, prehistorically, from a point where we weren't even fully people, this has been the paradigm, and they want to change it. And, 45 years after you've got 45,000 going on 450,000 years, and they want to change it. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
They got control of the media, and they're trying to propagandize that what they do is all right. Technically, under the First Amendment, it is. But just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
And just like somebody said in the chat room, he said it all boils down to intentions versus attention. I like that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is what they want to get away with. See, being a man has as a primary condition, you have to be brave and courageous. You have to be willing to let it all hang out and get out on, put it out on the line and be willing to die for cause, country, people, or whatever it may be. So
right.
They want to get away from that and get all kinds of little excuses because they're cowards. See, so
I have to agree.
See, when we were hunters, and that was something we were hunting for the summer barbecue that night Stomp was flat, you had to depend upon your fellow hunters to be courageous and brave and have your back. So everybody was dependent upon everybody to have their back. So it became part of the programming on all boys that they were supposed to be brave and courageous. And one of the lowest things you could be was a coward. But you see, there were a whole lot of people that got scared half to death by the thought of that, let alone the performance. So they didn't like it. So they're punks, and they just come up with, okay, my God, we control the media. Let's change this paradigm. You don't have to be brave. So when they go play coward, they can be their yellow selves and still try to hold their heads up. But it doesn't work that way.
So
they're drunk.
Would you consider? So would you consider a manhood, all of those traits of manhood, a threat to their very existence, or the idea, the ideology, so to say?
Well, it's still about courage and bravery.
Yeah.
It's still about dealing with your obligations, responsibility, and your accountability for doing that. It's like
right.
Masculinity is like humanity's lifeboat. Most of the time, the
right.
lifeboat's there on the ship. You don't need it, but when you got a Titanic situation, you need it real badly.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think those are traits that
hey,
everyone
favor,
should
brother,
possess,
Dylan,
not just men.
Do me a favor, brother. Do me a favor. Stay on the line.
Yes, sir.
Stay on the line. I'm gonna open your mic back up since you're in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you stay on. You can host the show with us, brother. But I got somebody else.
Dave, would you bring some blue cheese with?
Yeah, I got somebody else who need to come
Hey,
in.
no problem.
I got somebody else need to come in, so I'm gonna put you on mute. I'm gonna put you on mute real quick, and I'm gonna bring you back in, brother.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Southwest Ohio, what's going on?
Hi, Chris. This is Becky Dean.
Hey, Becky, how you doing?
It
Doing
is
real
Becky Dean.
good.
Good. Go ahead. What you got? What you got
Mad
to say, dude?
respect, Judge Joe Brown. Mad respect, sir. I have a question for you, and it's more on a lighter level than what we've talked so far. Say you've gotten a protection order against someone, and they've objected to that protection order. Now you've won at the highest level, but they're objecting to that. What is needed for them to carry on the case? Like, is it? I know one of them's new evidence.
Well, have you had a hearing on this thing, the matter?
We had hearings for a year, and I received a protection order.
So you got the protection or order of protection?
Correct. And within days, that was objected to.
Well, what do you mean it was objected to?
An attorney was hired, and they requested a hearing.
All right, you had
to our courts and objected to the magistrate's ruling.
Magistrate?
Yes, it was a magistrate, and then the next time it would be in front of a judge.
What court was it in?
Ohio courts.
Ohio. I can't speak with any authority on Ohio law, but usually you have still the fundamental requirements of due process. You have to have a due process hearing, which means people have a right to be heard when anything is going to be made a permanent situation rather than just a temporary injunction or a temporary restraining order. So when you're telling me somebody objects, I'm not clear on who's objecting, your side or the other side. So you have a right to counsel, they have a right to counsel, and they can fight it out in front of whatever the particular authority is where these things will be heard in your state.
Okay. Okay, correct. So, yeah, there's still another hearing in place.
All right.
Now.
Well, you might.
So I was just kind of, that was one of my questions, was kind of like I knew there had to be either new evidence or more evidence, to carry that on, because I'd already won, and now they're objecting to that winning. I wasn't sure if it was at the magistrate's level where they were talking just to them or if I was involved in it, and I am.
Well, see, it depends on what the basis of it for. See, there are two concepts here. One is personal, and one is the interest of the state. If you're talking about somebody doing something against the public peace, dignity, and order of the state, then it has a right as an interested third party to intervene in this and take what steps are necessary to preserve public peace, dignity, and order. If it's you that is aggrieved, then of course you have your own redress so that your safety, peace of mind, or your dignity is preserved. So I would suggest that you get yourself a good lawyer.
Okay. And then just in general, what should we, the people, do with all of the corruption and overreach that we're seeing within our systems? What is your suggestion for we, the people?
Well, the basic one is be involved. And one of the things you ought to do is apprise yourself of the candidates who are running for judge or judicial positions, because they are the most important positions on the ballot. The mayor can't lock you up. He can't let you out. Can't set bond. Can't set support. He can't grant a restraining order. Judges can. They can't grant divorces. They can't do a whole lot of other things. But you see, the judges can. So
start getting in at the local level.
And what the judges do pretty much determines the tone of what's going on in a given community. There's a great opportunity to do what's called social engineering. Overreaching, it depends on what you're talking about. There's a misconception that some people pass around. The very first case the United States Supreme Court ever heard 230-some years ago, 40 years ago, was what is the common law? Their ruling is the common law is, quote, that body of judge-made law based on tradition, precedent, and the evolving conditions of society. That is a quote. So you notice the evolving conditions of society. So some of the people on the far right that want to talk about the law should be stagnant are dead wrong. And then what about the judge-made law? Well, as the Supreme Court said, all law in the United States is judge-made law until it is superseded by legislative statute, by it, regulation, protocol, or ordinance.
Yes, I understand. And I think we should start educating ourselves and getting in at the local level so that we can voice our opinions, and because we can't just sit back and complain about it and ask for change without action.
I'll tell you something unusual. Most every lawyer has had to study constitutional law, but it works out at less than 25% of actually, and including the judges too, of only around 25% of that are read the Constitution. I would suggest that you read it. It's only like 10 or 12 pages long, depending upon the format.
Oh, I'm one of them, Judge, that I hand out pocket constitutions. I know, like, that's why I believe in even a phone call to a school if there's something can make a difference sometimes. And
okay, here's a
I believe
homework
in just
assignment
thing
for
to
you.
help. Yes.
Here's a homework assignment for you. Try and find the basis for the quote war on terror.
Okay.
But I would suggest that what you might look at, Article 1, Section 8, where they talk about piracy.
Yes.
And the obligation of the naval forces to pursue, eradicate, and suppress piracy wherever found in the world. Read the part that says that the supreme law of the land shall consist of the Constitution, such laws passed by Congress that are promulgated to give effect to the Constitution, and those treaties ratified by the Senate, which become part of the supreme law that have to be enforced not only on the federal level but the local level. But that will.
So are you getting at like martial law?
Hijacking airplanes has been declared to be piracy by treaty. So if there is a constitutional duty of the armed forces to suppress piracy, then they have a duty to suppress what you saw 911 when 4 airplanes got hijacked.
Yep.
But you never hear anybody say that. They talk about the international war on terror, etc., terror, and it's supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. So it's a little weird, but
Amen. Wow.
It is what it is.
Your depth of knowledge is unreal. It's been a pleasure. I know
Thank
Chris
you.
has other people wanting to ask you questions, so I'm going to bow out. But thank you very much, and again, mad respect for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Chris.
Becky. Thank you so much. Not a problem.
All right, bye.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call in and talk with me or my brother DJ C and Judge Joe Brown, the numbers in the description box. You can call in and talk about what we talking about.
You want to get in on this? It's local. Members? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll just let you know. If y'all want to call in and talk to the judge, the number is in the description box. Call in. Speak on what we're talking about, or you got something you want to ask him, come on in and ask him. Again, let me repeat again. He cannot give legal advice. He can only speak on the law. So let's make that clear. He cannot give legal advice. He can only speak on the law. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the line now with Brother Judge Joe Brown. Okay, so I'm going to bring this brother back in from Memphis. Memphis up in this thing. You still there, Dylan?
I'm here.
West Tennessee, you still there, Dylan? You still there? Okay.
I just heard him a few seconds ago.
I haven't heard of you. Still?
Can you hear me? Sorry, I was just
there you
outside.
go. There you go, brother. Yeah, go ahead. I unmuted you again. You got anything else you want to say to Judge Joe? You got some question to ask him? Go right on ahead, brother, because you're the only one on the line right now, unless other people want to call in. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Take your time.
There's a lot of things, that I love to talk about. I've only been here in Memphis for maybe just a little bit over a year, about a year and a half,
How do you like
And
it?
I find it.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Okay.
Got to say, I love the people here. I think that Memphis is one of the more forward-thinking, in Tennessee, and I've commended on that. I really appreciate that fact.
Okay.
There was just the Martin Luther King Jr. Walk going on. I think that was like almost a month ago, a little over a month. And that made me happy to see, all the progression. And I know there's still problems, in the world, especially still oppression and prejudice and systematic racism, But I think, and I hope every day we're getting closer to finding some resolution to that, So, I really like it here. But since I brought up the topic, in my mind, I never, being a Caucasian male myself, I was raised to be a very open, accepting. I was raised in an accepting family. So I never really understood the prejudice against color. And I see all the movements about people saying they're colorblind. They don't see color, and I don't think that's the right way to see it. It's not that it should be color specifically, but we should acknowledge the oppression and prejudice, from one race to another. And if we have the power or the ability to make an impact or change on that, we should. We should be active, proactive on that. And so that's the way I've always been raised, But I never understood really why racism is still a thing, why it still exists, I just can't understand it. Maybe you or somebody else maybe has some idea or some thoughts on that.
I've got some ideas. Instead of try to answer your question, one of the problems is that at one point in this country's history, the fundamental wealth or the balance of the wealth in the country and its agrarian side of its economy was all hooked up with slavery. Slavery was not just ordinary slavery historically, but it was a chattel slavery, which means that slaves were considered subhuman and they were considered as cattle. Chattel is the French root of cattle. Mm-hmm. And the basis of it being on ready identification for someone's point of origin, African, in America, it became associated with the color black, various shades thereof. For the most part, to ensure that slavery worked, it was determined the status of the mother, not the status of the father. And for the most part, most of the states of the Confederacy and those states in the Union before the Civil War that did have legal slavery basically said one known drop is sufficient to get you declared slavery. Now, there is about a 40-year period in there that ended in the very early 1930s in all of the former states in the Confederacies, wherein there were laws in each state that said a person could be declared to be Caucasian if they had no more than a certain percentage of colored ancestry and looked white to the satisfaction of some judge or chancellor. That was based on the fact that a number of very rich former Southern planters had lost all of their legitimate children in the Civil War, and the only descendants they had were children they had by slaves. Now, if they didn't leave it to the children of the slaves, then it would do what they call escheat, E-S-C-H-E-A-T, to the state. In other words, the state would get all the wealth, so they passed some laws so that their half-breed children that they had with mulatto or octroon slave, fancy girls, could be declared white. Now, that changed somewhere in the early 30s for most of the southern states, so it went back to any known colored ancestry will require that the person be considered colored. So that's a reality. So that's why it does make a difference, is because former status as chattel property was dependent upon one's racial status. They had involuntary servitude, yes, but that was indentured servitude, and that is ended. Interestingly enough, Dick Cheney, Warren Buffett, Barack Obama, and Brad Pitt have a common French ancestor who was an indentured servant. He was a Protestant, and he came over. So all of those people have a common ancestor. So you have that kind of situation, and it is what it is. But there are a lot of people passing for white, and a lot of people that probably are passing for black that have more white in them than black. But it's more a cultural identification these days than anything else. And there's what I call the one block rule. What you look like one block away. Because we have a need right now for something to diffuse a whole lot of interpersonal hostility and aggression, brought about by the fact that our economy, again relying on a lie told long enough and loud enough, is supposed to be so sacredly in the hands of private enterprise that nobody's making an adjustment for what industrial technology and computerization has done to the employability of the average somebody that would be a blue-collar worker. So you don't want Timothy McVeigh types acting in conspiracy with others to use common fertilizer to blow up a courthouse in Oklahoma City.
Yes, sir.
So you do something to diffuse that, and you've got the criminal justice system, not so much to control crime these days, but as a device to control surplus labor. The situation being is the number of your would-be workers are surplus to job requirements.
Wow.
Brother from Memphis, give me just a minute. Brother Smooth, you haven't had a chance to say anything, man. We got Judge Joe Brown, man. I got to give you a voice, man. You my dude, you my host, man. You got anything you want to say to the legendary Joe Brown? You got anything you want to say to him?
Yeah, absolutely. Just before I even start, just saying thank you, sir, for taking the time to come on to the show tonight. But there's one question that I've had that I was thinking of, was on an article that came, I believe, to like Chris's timeline and mine as well. It was talking about a man's parental rights. And in this case, it was infidelity with a woman that he supposedly thought that he wanted to marry, but yet she was already married, but yet a judge ruled that he's not the biological father. But yet, you know, the mother of the child supposedly said that he's not going to have any of his rights in this case. Now, for you, it was like, in your opinion, how should that really be? Like, should the actual biological father fight this case in court? Because knowing that he is the biological father, although he was born out of infidelity. That's what I would want to know.
Well, it depends on the circumstances of the individual case. Oftentimes, what you've got is a child that's not getting what he or she gets because there's no masculine input into the raising of that child.
Yes, sir.
You can bring the biological father in as somebody that just would be willing to stand in that capacity, then that's fine, because girls need it too. One of the things that people don't understand is how badly girls need a father around. You see, a girl that has a father around, she says, "Daddy, could I have $20, please? Baby, I just gave you 10 this morning. Daddy, please." You know, bring girl out. We're going to the mall. Baby, look here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here's 40. Get out of my face. Don't bother me the rest of the week. Thank you, Daddy. Now, since you know how to interact with men when she grows up, you get somebody with no daddy around, she's going to act a damn fool, put one hand on one hip, waggle her head, say, "Let me tell you what you gonna do," and get nowhere at all except give everybody involved a headache.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad he brought that up, Your Honor, because I'm going to do a show about that, y'all, because to me, personally, I think that's quite disgusting. You know, this woman, you know, was supposed to be married and messing with this man out the side, but then at the same time, I can't just put everything on her because this fool knew that she was married. Now, why he chose to get her pregnant, I have no idea. But I
Yeah,
never
he's not off the hook.
Right. I never heard of a law that says that she can decide who raised that child. And she chose her husband to raise that child. Now he trying to fight to be a father to that child, but they telling him pretty much it ain't happening. So I really don't get that, man. I think that's awful. That is awful.
Yeah, I think that is too, because if you really think about it, it's like, yes, he was born or she was born out of infidelity, but yeah, it's just all you have to do was say, oh, I don't want him to be the father of the child, knowing full well that you cheated on your own husband,
Mm-hmm.
but yet you still have this say so. Go ahead, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, sir.
My opinion on that is they need to expand this concept of what they came up with called intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
It developed when some women, not married, decided that they wanted to be mothers and they wanted to get artificially inseminated.
Oh.
So they go to a fertility clinic and get impregnated by sperm from a sperm donor. So sometimes they would try to come back and collect child support from the sperm donor who's still the sperm and doesn't know the woman. So they came up with the concept that's called intentionality. In other words, the man shouldn't be held to the requirements of child support and anything else if there was no intentionality of him being the father of a child with this particular woman. Now, I say this in the context of from 50, 55 years ago, women decided to get sexually active after they got the pill. And nobody was getting pregnant. That was just like, wow, what's wrong with you? Spastic or something? What happened? But nowadays, I think last count there's 62 kinds of birth control out there, and people won't use it. So some female that has no connection with a guy, she goes ahead and she decides she wants to have a baby because she wants to play mama without having a husband. I think they need to expand this thing of intentionality to enclose that. Was it the guy's intention to get this woman pregnant? And if it wasn't, then she's cut off just like if she went to a sperm bank.
Thank you.
Now,
Amen, sir. Amen.
Check this out. The biggest fertility clinic in America is located in California. We used to have them come in as expert witnesses on some matters in the show I had. And they tell me that less than 5% of their customers were married women having fertility problems. 45% of the people they had were just single females who wanted to become mothers without being bothered with being married, and 50% were lesbians.
Wow. Wow.
So there might be something in there about establishing the intentionality of the male deciding to get this woman pregnant. Did he decide that? And if not, then she's cut off. It might, shall we say, engender a little discretion when it comes down to the ladies spreading their legs. Sometimes I just wonder about it. See, one of the problems we had was when the Johnson administration back in the mid-'60s came up with safety net. It was useful then, but nowadays it is causing an environment that is causing trouble. It used to be in humanity that you had children when you could afford to take care of them or support them or raise them. And then for a span of time, it became a matter you had children to get a check so you could sustain yourself. You had a series of boyfriends who couldn't make it in the job world, so you set up matriarchies where the matrons would dispense their child support checks or their AFDC to their boyfriends, and the boyfriends would live off of them, and they would raise their boys improperly, so you got another generation who looked at that as normal. Bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So somebody needs to do something about changing that, but no one seems to want to deal with these kind of things.
And you wanna, if I could just come in for a minute, now, I'm glad you brought it there because I don't understand, why our women do that. You got a man who ain't just really worth a damn, and he ain't worth a damn, but you choose to let this man live off of you, off your riches. I mean, all because the sex is good, but then soon as he does something that you don't like, now it's a damn holocaust. And I just don't get it. So I agree with everything you just said, man, and I hope a lot of people listen to that, man. I got a young sister in her early 20s, and I hope she's listening to this. I mean, don't let no good for nothing man just lay up on you and live off of you, and try to play them mind games. Talk about if you love me, you do this, you do that. Hell no. No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, and I don't get this. So thank you so much for bringing it up, Judge. I don't know why women be thinking about doing that crap, and then they had to come to court and see people like you for a dispute. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So thank you for bringing it up, brother. Thank you for bringing it up. Go ahead,
You're
brother.
welcome.
Yeah, go ahead, brother Smooth. You got anything else you want to say to him?
Yes, sir. It's like I just want to say, Judge Joe Brown. My mom and myself used to watch the show all the time before she passed away, and I've seen a few of the cases to where like it ranged from the petty until the ones that acted like they wanted to be gangster. But the only thing is, the first thing that came to my mind is you're inside of a courtroom, and it's like this ain't the time to try to act gangster. It's like your life is in somebody else's hands. So to me, it's like, I thank you for like doing the service that you do, but I'm pretty sure that sometimes it's like hard. But at the same time, though, it's like you give like really good advice, but at the same time, you have that tough love, or you're hardcore, because that's how my parents was when I was growing up. So I appreciate what you do, sir. Thank you.
So do I.
Yeah, let me say something about that. Let me say something. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me say something about that show. I was in a 15-year war with Hollywood. They don't like straight black men. I was bringing in ratings. I was tied with Judge Judy for #1 syndicated show for a while. Then they changed the way she had the ratings done, but wouldn't change me. We were all under CBS. Last 3 years, I was beating Oprah every week, Dr. Phil every week. But you see, they wanted to down me because I was a straight man who was pushing the same agenda that you hear right now. They didn't like it.
Yes.
So what they would do continuously, and I would be raising hell about it, is producers would go out there and encourage the people that came on as litigants to talk over me. And I said, if I hear you doing it again, I'm firing you. And talking about you can go fight with it somewhere else, but you're not coming up here on this set again if I hear this one more time. But see, they would tell the people, talk over and we need to ramp it up with excitement. And I'm going, that's not what the people want. They want to see some kind of purpose and order. So they just wanted chaos. So a lot of that stuff, some of the people didn't know any better. Some of them knew better, and some of them were just that way, but got encouraged to be that way. See, I'll give you an example of what Hollywood's trying to do to you. The best case I ever had, they never aired. What it was this brother had been in the military for, 21 years, and he was in special ops, so he got wounded, and he was going to have to get out, and he decided to visit his grandmother, who was living in Brooklyn. When he got there, he found all these crack dealers out on the front, sidewalk, and he said he didn't put himself in harm's way for all those years for somebody to be moving poison in one of our communities. So he told everybody to get off. They wouldn't. So as he put it, the only reason he didn't kill any people was he could only buy so many bullets bootleg in New York City in a cheap .32 pistol. But he wound up doing 9 years on an attempted second-degree murder charge. So when he got out, before 9/11, he got a job removing asbestos, and he was getting paid $96 an hour. So he wasn't frivolous. He wound up getting, I think, 24 trucks and had 138 employees. And he got the contract from Dish TV to put in the antennas in downtown Manhattan, which isn't bad. Well, he got brought in because some woman was suing him, claiming that she loaned him $5,000 and he wouldn't pay her back. And also he caused her to lose her car. And he had supposedly mistreated her children. Well, when we got into it, what we found out was, yeah, he got $5,000 from her, but he put $120,000 of his own money up for an irrevocable trust for the benefit of her 3 children, so they could get to college. And she couldn't understand that. Then the other thing about mistreating her children, she said he was so wicked to her children that he wouldn't let them play their video games. He would go upstairs with them at 6:30 every evening and sit there with them for 2 hours while they did their homework, and then would sit there and check it with them rather than letting them play their video games. And then the car, it turned out, was he brought her a brand new Buick. She got all these tickets on it. So he managed to get it out on an auction, get it fixed up. Somebody that he'd done time with was running the auction. He got the car with her, and it was 44 degrees in New York on the day in question. She couldn't take a 35-minute subway ride to pick the car up, so that went south again, but it was his fault. And then we found out he paid cash for a 3-bedroom apartment for this fool downtown New York, where he prepaid 2 years worth of rent, and he was low down. He married another woman, but as he said, I tried to pay for her divorce for a long time. She'd been separated for 11 years, but she kept talking about she might miss some benefits. So I moved on, got myself a better woman. So they got mad at me because I wouldn't award a verdict to her. I said she doesn't deserve it.
She doesn't deserve it.
And I said, I'm proud of you, brother, for doing what you're doing, but they didn't want to put it on air. See, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're some scoundrels.
Right.
That's not right.
No,
It's not right.
That's not right.
That's the classic case of give an inch and they take a mile, you know.
Yeah,
I
can
It's like bad women using good men.
I said the American public doesn't want to see fake; they want to see real. So I'm gonna give them real. You can go to hell with your fake.
Amen.
So it was kind of weird. I just said, fire me if you can. There's nobody high enough on the food chain in here to fire me.
Judge Joe, I got a fan here that's watching me from Facebook, and he said for me to ask you to give him a shout out. The name is Legend Red Pill. He's a fan of yours. He said, Chris, can you ask him to give me a shout out? So I'm asking, can you give Legendary Red Pill a shout out?
Shout out to who now?
Legend Red Pill.
I can't hear the name. What is it? Say it again.
Legend Red Pill. Legend Red Pill.
All right, shout out to Brother Redfield. I don't do Facebook.
There you go. You got it. You got it, brother.
By the way,
There you go.
You got it, brother. You got your shout out. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, brother. You do. Go ahead.
And by the way, I do Twitter at Judge Joe Brown TV. I don't have a blue check, but that's me. It's Judge Joe Brown.
It is
TV.
him. Yeah, he's right. It is him. Cause somebody came to me and said, Chris, man, I'm concerned, man, cause he don't look like he got a big following, man. I said, I mean, everybody who's tweeting him is going to that account. So I said, hey, maybe he's not on social media big like that, So hey, probably is, but hey, I don't like to bring people falsehood. So
I try to avoid it because it lets Big Brother get all in your business and track you.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I agree with you.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
I agree with you.
And the other thing too is, if you want to catch some of the 15 years worth of show, Bounce TV is doing reruns 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday in the mornings. If you're Memphis local, it's Xfinity or Comcast channel 906.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to write that down.
Absolutely. Yes, and I'm going to catch
Yes,
up.
sir.
906 Xfinity, Bounce TV. You get 2 hours a day worth of reruns.
I'm gonna have to start watching it too because I got bounced, but I just don't watch TV that much. But in support of you, brother, to keep your message out there, I definitely
Yes.
gonna watch because I
And
watch you a
besides,
lot. I
I
watch.
get residuals off of that.
Oh, okay. I'm
I
definitely
get
gonna support you. I'm
I
definitely
get
gonna support you
residuals off of
then.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely. Because in
if
syndication, you get
Lewis
paid for
keeps
it.
the ratings up, I get the money for that. And I ain't gotta get the money.
All right, yeah, definitely, so definitely. Hey, Chris, man, I got to go because I'm at work right now. But thank you, Judge Joe Brown, for taking the question, and everybody have a good night. God bless y'all.
Hey, thank you so
There
much,
you
brother.
go.
Thanks so much. We'll talk after the show.
All right,
I
talk
gotta
y'all guys
check
later.
out in a little bit myself here. You got about 10 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
can we do this again later in the week or next week or
hey,
something?
it's all on you, brother. Whenever you got time, man, I would love to do a part two.
Yeah, just call me and let me know. I'm at your service, brother.
Oh, not a problem. What times are you usually free?
About this time every night, usually.
Okay, then. Hey, not a problem, man. I'll be sure to give you a ring up, Judge Joe Brown. Man, thank you so much. This has truly been an honor. Truly been an honor.
All
man.
right.
All right. Take care.
All right, gentlemen. Appreciate
Take care,
it.
brother.
Take it easy.
Take care. Take care. The brother who I got on the line, you say you in Memphis too, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I guess me and you could chit chat for a minute, man. Thank you for calling in, brother. So I'm Memphian too. So make sure you sub to my YouTube. As a matter of fact, are you on Facebook or Twitter, anything like this, so I can follow you?
Yeah, I already follow you on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah,
I try to do whatever I can,
Yeah, you can sub to my channel on YouTube and look for Chris Thorns on Facebook. As a matter of fact, if you got a chance, do it now. And man, since you're from Memphis, man, hey, let's do a Memphis style, brother. I'd love to have you back on the show and come join my show whenever I go live, brother. Hey, Memphis got to support each other instead of bringing each other down.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
but let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before you go. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You brought up the LGBT situation earlier when you got on the show. What is your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are, I like to let bygones be bygones.
Mm-hmm.
If that's I'm accepting. I'm open to it. It's not me personally, but if that's the way they want to live their life, then by all means, I feel like they should have the right to do that. I'm all for equality. Racial equality. Equality for women. But again, there's a limit to it. It's equality, not you can have everything. I shouldn't. I feel there's a lot of what they call quote unquote white privilege, and I see it. I'm not going to deny that it exists, but I wouldn't say that I use it all the time. I don't. My mindset is, for example, if I'm applying for a job, and there's a brother just as qualified as I am for the same exact job, but the employer, and let's say that I know this, but the employer chooses me because of his underlying, race issues. I don't accept that. That's not okay with me. I don't ever want what I have or what I get in life, my success, to be because of the color of my skin. I don't appreciate that. As a person, if I am successful, I want it to be because of my experiences, my what I do, my skills, my knowledge. Not simply because the guy hired me is white and I am too. That's not okay with me. But at the same time, but at the same time, like, as long as equal equality, not just race, but also for people with different sexual orientations, transgendered or whatever. If I was hiring somebody, and they were transgender, it wouldn't matter to me. I wouldn't be biased against them or look at them differently or not give them, I wouldn't say they're not qualified for the job simply because of any of that. It's about, okay, you're applying for this job, well, I'm going to hire you. What do you, what can you benefit? What skills can you bring? So none of that is relevant. None of the rest of that doesn't matter because it's not pertinent to the job. And there's a lot of cases like that in life where none of that matters. You're a person. You know, do you have the abilities or the abilities to do this or not? You know, so that's the way I see it. I see it as, and for me, I understand that. So, like for example, like I can't play basketball. I can't play ball at all. I try. I like to have fun. Me and my guys, you know, we go play ball every now and then, but I'm not good at it. You know, but they don't look at me, you know, and say, "Oh, you can't play ball because you're white." I can't play ball because I'm trash at it, you know. Like, I ain't got the skills, you know. Like, yeah, there's a joke, you know, the sort of, you know, white men can't jump, but you know, that's not true. You know, there's been a lot of great, you know, white basketball players that you know, and it's not because they're white that they can't play ball, and you know, it's not because you know people are black that they play ball better. That's what they were raised. That's how they grew up. That was the culture, you know.
Yeah.
They had a training, a lot of experience, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not because of their skin. It's because that's what they did when they were growing up. That's what them and their friends do on the block. You know, they play ball, and they did it all the time, every weekend. I remember, you know, I lived in the schools growing up, and people around me, I never played it all the time. I was reading books or something, you know. Okay. But they were always playing every day. One of these guys, where I grew up in southern Mississippi, you know, went to college, you know, and had a scholarship for playing ball. And he would play every day after school. And on the weekends, he was always playing. In high school, he was playing for the high school, you know, basketball team. Like, that's what he did. Because he did it every day, not because of his skin color.
Right. Hey, do me a favor, brother. I got 2 more people that just came on the line. So if you like to, you know, you can stay on. I'll mute you out right now, and I'll bring you back in if you want to stay on. But let me get these couple other phone calls.
Nah, I'm probably got that out, man. I just, you know, I appreciate you having the show. We'll get in touch with you guys around.
All right, cool. Find me on Facebook. Yeah, find me on Facebook and sub to the channel, brother. Sub to the channel, and you can come host another show with me, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, no problem. Not a problem. We got Western and Southwest Virginia. What's going on? Who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Chris, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Paul Sykes.
Brother Sykes, what's going on? Did you just call in or what? Because your thing just popped up. Was you trying to talk to Judge O'Brown?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, well, he gone, man. He just left. So y'all just popped up to like another West Tennessee. Y'all numbers just popped up. It just popped up. So he just left. You just missed him, brother. You just missed him. Now, but I mean, you can still free to say what you want to say. You know, you got something you want to say that you heard, or what did you hear, or what?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool of him to take the time he did, man, to come to your show and speak with y'all. And I thought that was really cool for him to sit back and talk about these issues with men that, of course, you know, I speak a lot of, and I really, you know, I was just wanting his opinion on a few things, but. You know,
yeah, but he said
coming on, man.
Yeah, he said we could do a part 2, so I'll be looking out for part 2. We're gonna do a part 2, and I hate that you missed him, man, because you one of the ones I would love to have on, so you can ask some questions or whatnot, man. But like I said, unfortunately, you just missed him. You just missed him, man. You just missed him.
That's all right. I'll catch him on next show.
Hey, not a problem, man. Appreciate that, brother Sykes. Appreciate that, brother Sykes.
Hey, man, you take it easy, all right?
Hey, you too, brother.
All right, take care, bud.
All right.
Bye.
West Tennessee, what up?
What's going on with you, Chris? What's going on?
What up, fam? What's going on?
What's going on with your brother, Smooth?
He gone too, bro. He said he at work. Everybody gone.
Oh, he gone too?
Yeah, everybody left your
Yeah,
boy,
so
man.
everybody just left? Yeah. Well, look, hey, much respect. Hey, Mr. Judge Joe Brown, if you hear this, I want to say thank you to you. I got in a little bit late. You know, I'm out here at work. You know, it's a bad signal. I had to go all the way in the back of the building just to use the phone. It's crazy. So, but yeah, I just want to say a little bit because I was going to, you know, speak a little bit.
All right, hold on. Before you go any further, let me go any further. I got to give a shout out. Miss Classy, how you doing, boo? How you doing? I hope everything is well. Hope you're enjoying your evening. Ashley, Miss Classy, I thought I had made you mad, you know, because the way you left from the last show, you know, shit, you kind of left out kind of crazy. I'm like, did I say something wrong? But she's right there, still in the chat room, still in support. So if you're still in the chat room, dear, hey, much love to you. Shout out to you. Elaine Smart, you too, dear. Mahogany, you always showing love to your boy. Lee Hill in the building. Tracy L, thank you so much for coming to the show and everybody else, man. But go ahead, brother. You say you want to say something? Go ahead, man.
Shout out to my guy Lee out there. He in Germany. Anyway, yeah. So I just want to say a little bit. I ain't gonna be too long-winded. I just want to let everybody know, man. This is groundbreaking just to get a man like Judge Joe Brown involved with a channel like this, because in a nutshell, this is manhood. Even if we could just get together and talk for a few minutes. And people don't understand how important the idea of manhood is. It's been under attack since 1969. And if people do their homework, a lot of things were involved around 1969. In that era, you had the civil rights movement and things of that nature. A lot of gangs were started with the concept of protecting each other. Gangs were not created to kill each other, rob and steal. It was all about protecting the neighborhood. A lot of stuff happened around that era. And then you had the feminist movement. So I don't know if a lot of people are going to run away on this one, but I just thought I'd make it clear. So, get go get your cup of water and, clean your ears out on this one. The feminist movement is basically, it was basically what you would call a destroying concept of the concept of family, man, woman, and child, because people like to say slavery was the problem. No, slavery was a problem. Don't get it twisted, but after slavery, we still had the black family unit, man, woman, and child, standing taller than ever, even during the civil rights movement. So if the civil rights movement didn't destroy the family, what destroyed the black family unit? And we're just speaking on, technical terms of, the era and, certain ways. It was the feminism movement. And a lot of people don't want to admit to that. A lot of people don't know this. So I want to say people like Judge Joe Brown, especially being, a lawyer, former judge, things of that nature, especially how most people don't know, this dude stood up. Man, stood up and took charges for the rights of an individual he had in court representing him.
Mm-hmm.
And that means a lot, because most lawyers will just say, I'm going to be quiet and not get any type of contempt of court, because this is not really a big fight that I need to be doing. But he was that dedicated to that brother's case.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot, especially on national TV, where he don't care what nobody thinks. He fought that. So that means a lot. When I see things like that, when I saw all the shows and all the cases he had, like he just said in the call, one of his most important cases they didn't air.
Yeah, he got me when he said that, man. He said, I'm like, whoa, none of your cases some of your cases got hidden? Wow. Man, you the man, you the man, the myth, and the legend. And you said you was right up there with Judge Judy? Shit. You the man, the myth, and the legend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Along with Greg
Matthews. Especially in an era where you can't get no man to even be on TV or color on what daytime TV, right?
Yeah.
Like you competing with the soaps, you competing with all these other judge shows. You know what I'm saying? Maybelline and all these different people. Did I say the name right?
Who that? Judge Maybelline?
I hope I said Maybelline. I think it's Maybelline. Yeah, but anyway. But when we say manhood, this is not a bully tactic or anything. Just know that manhood falls in the line of protection and provision. Everything under the umbrella of manhood falls hand in hand. Protection of the children, protection of the woman, families being secured in one big idea of manhood, meaning that if you have manhood amongst, because remember the old days where you would have an issue with a girl, and what would be the thing she would say? I'm going to call my dad, or I'm going to call my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, I'm going to just call my other guy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call my other boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? Or they're just, trying to take you out yourself.
Right.
So now it's like the idea of calling the mom, calling the brother, calling the uncle, calling the dad is like, nah. You know what I'm saying? We
Let me
can
give
just call them friends.
let me get a shout out real quick, fam. Brother Dylan
But-
Davison is in my chat. I think this is his first stream that he caught me on YouTube. So welcome my brother Dylan Davison. Y'all just seen him from his ago. And he said something about feminism, brother. And let me see what you think about what he said. He said, there's nothing wrong with feminism for equality. The issue is when women feel they've been oppressed for too long and want to get reparations by oppressing men. That's the dangerous radical feminism. What you think about that?
Well, the concept of feminism was a different concept then compared to today. This whole equality thing is it's an oxymoron. If that's the case, there will be women in the workforce who will be doing what we do. Mm-hmm. How many women do you see on skyscrapers? How many women do you see in the construction field? And how many women do you see doing a lot of the heavy duty work that we do?
I gotta do another shout out. Hold on, brother. Hold that thought. There's a young lady. There's a young lady y'all see in there called Sony Delia. If I said that right. I want to tell y'all, she's going to be on my show too. This is a young girl that just graduated. But guess what, though? She's a young lady that graduated from that school where the girl was twerking on the stage, and she knows that girl. She knows that girl. She's going to be on the show. We just got to set it up. So y'all welcome Sony in the building too, you know what I'm saying? Seems like she's a sweetheart. And some things she told me on Instagram we're going to talk about that I can relate to what she's talking about, but I'm not going to spoil it, you know. But that young lady y'all see, Sony Delia, she went to the school with that young lady who was twerking on the graduation stage. And her being a young lady, she said herself that she didn't too much appreciate that because that's not what y'all was there for. Y'all was there to show appreciation for your accomplishment, not treated as a shake joint. So she didn't like that either. So, hey, Jamie, how you doing? She didn't like that either. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other things. So y'all welcome Sony Delia in the building. Sony, too bad you just missed Judge Brown, boo. But however, you could go back and watch the replay. You know, so...
and we'll have part 2 coming soon, correct?
Yeah, we got a part 2 coming too. Yeah, he just told me to give him a call. Y'all heard him say, man, can we do it again? You got some time this week or something? Let's do it again. You got damn right we're going to do it again. You know, so, but go ahead, brother. Ms. Clay said, hold on there. Are men and women on construction sites just depend city and state you in and out job availability? I'm not understanding what she's saying right there. But y'all, the phone line's still open now, you know what I'm saying? She said, definitely thank y'all. Cool. You welcome, sweetie. You welcome. You and Dylan need to hit that thumbs up. Y'all see on YouTube, y'all see the thumbs up, you and him need to hit it. We at 69. I need 70. Give me 70. It should be 71. It should be 71. So y'all see that thumbs up? Y'all better hit it. Hit it. And thanks to the people who donated. I got 2 donations that came in. I might have got another one. Let me check my email. I might have got another one that came in. No, they just that was just wishful thinking. But you know, thanks to the people who have donated. Though I got a friend that came in. But the phone. Let me see. Maybe somebody have called in. Oh, let's see. No, it's just you. It's just you. Yeah, but go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, the future is there with children, and man, it's lack of manhood. We already know the statistics. I forgot the number. I know the number is high. Most men, a majority of the men in prison, lack of fathers in the home, lack of male guidance at that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get back to the idea that putting the men first, because the responsibility of having men first, that will be everything under an umbrella. It will fall into place. That's how it's always been through many centuries in every walk of the country, every area of the country, from France to England to Africa. You know, no matter where you heard of, Australia, Asia, you know, Japan, whatever. So I'm just being real here, that when you got people like Judge Joe Brown on television, that means a lot. And when he's representing people in the judicial system, that means a lot as well. So I want to tell him thank you for being there, because, you know, hey, you could have one of these guys that's being phony out here, and I look at him like he's a genuine guy. I want to say thank you to Chris Thorns for just having him, and it was a pleasure just having him here in general, because he could be anywhere else in the world, but he was on here, and he'll be back.
Yeah, and see that's the thing, man. He was waiting on me to call him. He said he thought I was gonna call him, but I was just like, I thought he was gonna call me, so I was just getting ready to stop it. I finished shut it down and be like, look like he ain't coming, man. But he called like as soon as I said it because me and Brother Smooth, we was watching the chat. I like, man, I don't want to let these people down, man. I hate if I gotta shut this shit down, but I really get ready to shut it down. And he called just right then and there, man. And he came and blew this thing out of the water, man. So salute to Judge O'Brown, man. He the man. He the man, man. The man,
Yeah.
the myth, the
He can keep
legendary
it.
Judge
I mean,
O'Brown.
it's okay if he was watching the first half of the finals. Yeah, he probably was just like, hey, Krista called me. Oh, hey, what's going on? Okay, yeah, we have time. We can get it going.
Yeah, so now now he see I am. Y'all heard himself, hey, you got my number, call me. I'm usually free at this time. Just give me a call, man. I know we can set some up. I know I'm definitely gonna have him back for part 2. And as a good matter of fact, I'm trying to see if I can meet him face to face the next time since he's in Memphis. Maybe we could do a face to face in the real. That'll be lovely. Now I want to get Judge Mathis. That's gonna be tricky, but I'm gonna see if I can get him. Now, if I can get him, that's a real OG. That's a real OG.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie C says she's from Ohio. Shout out to Ohio. Yeah, that's a real OG. So if I can get Judge Mathis on the show, that'd be great. And I'm also still trying to get the Memphis Police Department on the show. I'm still trying to get a child protective service worker and a social worker on the show. So anybody y'all who knows somebody working that field, please tell them about me. Let's bring them on the show. You know what I'm saying? They can give us a teachable moment, especially for me with a person who doesn't have any children. You know what I'm saying? I may think I know stuff, but it's probably some stuff that I can still can learn from a social worker and a CPS worker, and for those you talking about you can't tell what to do with my child, I wouldn't be so fast to say that. I wouldn't be so fast to say it, so because if that's the case, then the CP worker won't be able to get in your business. The government won't be able to get in your business. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to lose your children if you could do what you want to do with them, you know what I'm saying, on a technical term. But on a logically, I can't tell you how to raise your child, but, hey, you doing some fuck shit, and your child get taken, then don't cry. Don't cry. Sonia said, I know the VP of the YMCA helps children. I can mention you to her. Well, go ahead. There go the young lady trying to help your boy out. That's what's up. Well, do that for me, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep me posted.
Shout out to Sonya for graduating. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, congratulations,
thank you
man.
for not twerking on stage.
Congratulations. I've been out
Thank you for not twerking while doing so.
Right, thank you for not twerking on stage. You probably wanted to, but you kept your composure. You didn't do it. I've been out of school since 1999, so you make me feel old as fuck. But, it's all good, though. You are the young generation, and to have a young lady like you come in and say that was foul that she did, that lets me know you got some sense. But at the same time, I'm not saying that she's a bad person for doing that. But like a lot of people said, she probably have hurt her chances in getting into some big college because they don't represent stuff like that. Now, in your spare time, you do what you want to do. But on the ceremony, and it got to the point that the dude had to come get you, that should say something that you did something stupid. You did something stupid, So if that young lady dad is in her life, I hope he had a heart-to-heart talk with her. Or even her mother. I hope her mother, if she saw that, had a heart-to-heart talk with her and told her, there are some places you do that. There are some places that you do not do that. And there was not the time or the place to do that. You are a young lady, okay? You ain't got a taste of this world to be doing stuff like that. All right? Then you did that in front of...
Let me speak on that a little.
Hold on. Then you did that in front of grown-ass men.
Right.
You did it in front of grown men. But go ahead, bro. You said you want to speak on it. Go ahead.
And I was going to speak a little bit about that. I think that if you want to just do something funny as a gesture, because I remember when, I don't know if you had this issue, most guys would graduate and they would want to like gangster walk across the stage or dance or something or do something like funny gesture. And we just didn't have a camera phone.
Right.
I just think the worst enemy is a camera phone now.
Yes.
So now you can record it and put it online, and social media is like crazy. Like there's so much stuff these days. Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much they can just record and post and record and post. And yeah, I'm a Snapchat. He snap, working on stage.
Exactly.
This thing back then, yeah, because I knew about 5 guys that gangster walk on stage.
Right.
We just did record and put it online. So imagine today if we record and put it online, And we'd be like, yeah, look what he did. But all of those guys that did that, man, these are successful guys. One guy I know personally is in real estate, so. But, I guess the wrong impressions. I just think that shouldn't be put online because I think everything that you do should not be put online. Same as with parents that discipline their children. Discipline your children in the privacy of your home.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put it on camera. Stop putting it online. Handle your business at home. Be parents offline,
Absolutely.
not online.
Absolutely. And Miss Classy, dear, I can't wait to do a show with you as well because I think you'll be a perfect candidate too to talk about stuff like that with these young generation. You say you came out of school at 89. I look at you as a wise woman. Plus, you are a military vet, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you can instill some of that knowledge in some of these young generation about stuff like that, by you being a woman or whatnot. I'm still not getting none of your hey Clovis, I'm still not getting none of your notifications if you have done something else. So I don't know if you have done or not, but I'm not getting your notifications if you have. But I would love to collab with you as well. Yes, okay, you say you are a military vet. Awesome. I would love to talk to a military vet, and you are perfect. You are a perfect person. As a matter of fact, if you got other military vets who might want to join the show, let's do it. Salute to the military vets. We just
Logic is one.
Oh shit, we'll bring. Well, he been saying he want to do a show with me.
I think Black Snowflake is Black Snowflake. I think was in the military.
Well, we can have them all at the same time. Yeah, but Logic already said he want to do a show with me, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that regardless. But Mr. Class, I do want you on the show.
Are you still around?
Who? What up, Brielle?
RC.
Who?
RC. Did you say RC?
No, I said Logic.
Oh, okay.
I said Logic. No, I said Logic. He been saying he want to do a show with me, so we're gonna get that done too. But
okay.
Yeah, Miss Classy, if you would do me the honors, and we could have a whole panel full of vets, and then y'all can just do a message as to the youngins, talking about military and all good stuff, send out a positive message. So I like a female perspective and a male perspective. So if you would do me the honors and say, yes, you will do that, that would be awesome. Let's email each other and then get something set up. My man Dylan said, I'm in college now, and there was more women than men. All of the men except me were planning on getting a physical therapy degree. Now, I'm big on words. You say they were planning on, but what happened? Did they get it or not?
Exactly.
Ms. Clancy said Black Snowflake husband was in the military. Okay, bring him on too. She said, yes, I will. Yes. She said, yes, I will. Get with Logic and we can set that up. I sure will, dear. I sure will, dear. Much love to you. I sure will, dear.
Yeah, what's up, Brielle, too?
Yeah, shout out to Brielle.
RC was in the military.
Yeah, I haven't heard RC name in a minute, so shout out to Brielle, too, man. That's my dog. He fucked with me real hard, man.
Yeah, RC was cool as hell. I want to know where he at, because he went to the military as well. I think he went to the Marine.
Oh, okay, then. Chloe said her son's military. Well, if you want to come on, look, I'm willing to do a show with anybody that's putting out something positive, especially for the young generation. So let's do it. Hey, we had Memorial Day just passed. Let's do it. I should have did a show on that day, but now that we're talking about it, hey, let's do a show with nothing but military vets, and let's speak to the youngins. Let's speak to the youngins. And if y'all got sons and daughters who y'all think we want to listen, let's do it. Let's do it. Because this is Chris Thorns show. I'm all about positivity. I'm all about that.
Exactly.
So let's do it. Dylan said, I'm not sure they still in college. Only time will tell if they follow through. Okay, cool. Chloe said, I will hook you up. All right, thank you, dear. That's what I'm talking about. All about building. It's all about building, man. And again, man, shout out to Judge Joe Brown. And shout out to myself for working my ass out to get that man on my show. Shout out to myself. I pat myself on the back for that. And then he in Memphis too. That's all the love and praise, man. And I'm hoping whoever watching in the shadows, hey La Green, how you doing, honey? And I'm hoping y'all hit that thumbs up. Now hit that thumbs up. There you go. We got 7-3, man. Y'all showed your boy love tonight. I don't know why y'all don't do that all the time, but y'all did it tonight. But oh well. It's all good. Hey, I'm appreciative of that. We need to be having that every night, But, yeah, somebody asked earlier, the brother named Atair, he asked earlier, he said, man, Chris, Judge O'Brown, that's what's up. He said, how did you do that? I said, shit, I just hit them up, man. Other people, hit them up. And Brother Smooth said, don't break your back patting it, bro. Hey, shout out to DJ Smooth, man. That's my man, man. That's my man's right there, man. And I said, man, dude, you got to be a part of this show, brother. You got to be a part of this show. And he had time to make time, you know. Yeah, Brother DJ Smooth. So, and that's a good question. You asked them, Brother Smooth, because I am going to do a show about that. As a matter of fact, when I shut this down, I profited. Well, I need to hit up Princella because I told her I want to do the show with her about that dude who can't raise his child. And the woman chose her husband to raise it. You know, I was supposed to did it yesterday, but shit, I got tired, bro. I got tired. So, you know, maybe I hear her back up. You know what I'm saying? We could do that show together or whatnot. I think that'd be a good show, you know, because I never heard nothing like that a woman who have a child out of extramarital affairs can choose who can take care of that child. I think that's fucked up. Omar said Chris ain't push a pencil, he push away. Hey, I appreciate that, bro. Like I told a lot of y'all, man, look, I'm trying to do big things in my channel, man. Look, that's why y'all don't hear me beefing. That's why y'all don't hear me engaging in that shit. I don't call nobody on my show so we can talk shit on each other, man. I ain't got time for that shit. Running up my blood pressure and shit. Arguing with niggas that I don't know. I'm not finna do it. I leave that to y'all. You know, if y'all got people who beefing y'all head up to argue, y'all go right on ahead. You know, that's why a lot of times now, a lot of y'all chat rooms I come in and speak. I may say a few words and I'm gone because your chat room is hot right now. I don't want no part of it. I don't want no part of it. You know? But I still show y'all support. And I still show y'all support, though, by coming in and saying, hey, but, you know, I can't stay in there because your chat room too hot. Everything's too hot right now. It's too much bullshit. We got too much real shit to talk about than to sit up here and talk about each other. Even though, I guess you could say with me, with the news that I do, some of the shit that I say, yes, I guess technically I'm talking about them. But I'm not just really talking about them. I'm talking about the shit that they have done. But now if you a bad person, you just doing fucked up shit, then it is what it is. It is what it is. All right? If you don't want nobody to talk about it, then don't do it. Then don't do it, you know? So, but then again, you know, if people pay attention to how I do my shows, I try to call out the good and the bad. Because I think majority of the people who do something fucked up, they do have some good. They just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they just did some stupid shit and thought they can get away with it. But they didn't get away with it. I do believe people can change. And speaking of change, Greg Mathis, what he say in the beginning of his shows all the time. I used to be in the streets. I did this. I'd have sold dope. I'd have did everything. I see it wasn't going nowhere. So I changed my life. This man became a damn judge, one of the biggest judges on TV. Now, if he can do that, then I know a lot of us black men can do that. We can. Even me, bro. If I get big doing this, somebody look at me and say, hey, you know, I like what you're doing, bro. I like how you speak it. I got a brother now on Facebook that said Chris Thorns is better than the news. I said, damn, shocked the fuck out of me. And it got tweeted on Twitter. He said Chris Thorns is better than the news. But what makes me better than the news and what makes other people better than the news is because we can say stuff that the news can't. The news is on TV. They going to say so much. They can't say how they really feel. But somebody like me who I can use my voice, I can say how I feel. I can say how I feel. And if you did something that's fucked up or you doing something that's fucked up and you know that it's hurting our community, but you want to holler about we ain't got no community, then what good is you doing? You come doing this fuck shit to fuck up our so-called community. That's why we need more Judge O'Browns. We need more of them. We need more Greg Mathis. All right?
We need more Chris Thorns. Put it that way.
Okay, we need more Chris Thorns. We need more Chris Thorns. You know, I mean, don't get it wrong. You know, I don't get in fuck shit. But now you come at me now. You know, depending on what you're saying. Now, you know, I can ignore a lot, but you know, I mean, don't take my kind of weakness. I'll push back if it's necessary. You know, but this online shit, I'm gonna keep going back and forth. No nigga making videos for what? For what? We can talk about some real shit that's going on. As a matter of fact, if anything, you know what I'm saying? Since we keep doing so much talking. Let's come together and try to do something together then. Since we're doing so much talking, let's use our voice for something else. Let's talk shit to the niggas who out here really doing something. Let's talk shit to them who are really out here fucking up the community. Let's talk shit to the ladies who out here destroying their bodies, destroying their selves in whoring, crack pipe smoking, shooting up, crack, and everything. Let's go at them. Not to bash them, but try to tell them it's a better way. It's a better way. But at the same token, you got this situation where it says, you know, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. So I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. All right? So if we're going to use our voice to talk shit to people, let's do it to the people who's really doing damage to our community. What's up, what's up, Mug? I don't know how to say your first name, but I seen you before. What up, Mug? What up, Zikos? They say word of the day is Pika-yoon. Are you one? What the fuck? What you trying to say? Pikachu? What are you? Pika-yoon.
Pika-yoon? Pika-yoon?
I'm just gonna say that's a typo.
I need to get my Google on. Hold on. What is
I'm
that?
just gonna say that's a typo.
No, Pika-yoon.
Hey, Faith, how you doing, dude? There's another one, Faith. You know, I had on a panel one time and later dropping some knowledge.
Oh, petty and worthless.
Who?
Petty and worthless. I never heard that word.
Okay, they say
That'd be a college word.
Sesquipedalian.
It's one of those college words I never heard of. I heard of a lot of them, but
Sesquipedalian.
that went on my head.
Okay, sesquipedalian mug. All right, I'll try to keep that. Miss Class say they're not ready for that. This is America that like the confusion and the chaos. Yep. And you know what, Miss Class, let me say something to you. I guess whatever you say, they said correct. So I guess whatever it's a college term, whatever you just say, they said correct. Miss Classy, she says it's Indian word. Okay, cool. Let me say something to you. Because I remember when I was on the road and I was talking to Logic. And Logic said something to me that made perfect sense. But he didn't get a chance to get it all out because I was at the bus terminal and the bus terminal kept fucking up. He said, Chris Thorns, you know, we not famous on YouTube because, and he kind of cut out because the damn thing kept coming on. But I knew he was getting that. Pretty much he was trying to say, if he's in the chat room, he correct me. Pretty much what he was trying to say was, you know, we're not popular because we don't talk about what people want us to talk about. We kind of talk against it. You know, meaning like I was saying earlier, the fuck shit, we don't ride with it. You know, we talk against it. You know, and for that, don't too many people want to pay attention to us because we don't engage in it. You know, but if we was to engage in it, we have a chat room full of everybody egging us on. Now, which one would we rather have? Some people there that's egging us on to do dumb shit where everybody's saying that it's dumb? Do we want that? Or do we want people around us that really mean some good to us? Because think about it like this. If we got people in our chat room that's egging us on to do dumb shit and me and him was getting into arguing, check this out. What if me and him met up for real and we fighting each other and we both got fucked up? Do you think anybody in our fucking chat room would give a damn? What they gonna do? They don't wanna go give us money for our medical bill. They don't one of us go send us a card. They don't wanna go get on a plane and visit now one of us. What they gonna do? They gonna go to the next YouTuber that's beefing with somebody and beef that shit up. That's what they gonna do.
As a matter of fact, ain't nobody telling them to stop.
Exactly. Nobody's telling them to stop. Nobody hitting them in Hangouts. Nobody hitting them in emails saying, hey, y'all, look. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
They're speaking codes like, I'm tired of it, but they won't say specifically, you stop, and say a name.
Mm-hmm.
Won't do it.
Just like Slap said,
I used to see that.
Just like Slap said, what you put in your body, even if it's people, words, and energy. Yes, what you put in your body, even if it's words, will fuck you up. Because it's a mind thing, a mind control thing. I'm like this, man. You know, if anybody is that weak-minded that you let somebody control you to keep doing shit that you know you don't really want to do, but you're doing it to have your ego stroke, then you need to go work on yourself. All right? Because if you're trying to get your ego stroke, then I don't think YouTube is a place for it. Matter of fact, social media is not the place for a period. You think these folks on social media give a fuck about you? About your ego? Nope. Because again, what I said earlier, you get fucked up, who give a damn? Nobody. Nobody give a damn. So that's why the way I am. Because you remember when I started off in the beginning, bro, dude, I was hardcore. Bitches, black niggas did, hoes did, whores and all that stuff. I was hardcore, bro. But now I had to sit back and think, now, you know what? I mean, I still talk like that depending on what I'm talking about, but that's not my personality. That's not me. That's not my personality. Because I do believe a lot of people got good in them. I ain't gonna say everybody, but I do believe a lot of people got good in them. And just somebody said, words on hurt, you let them. Yep. But see, that's the ego shit. You let people stroke your ego. If you let that shit affect you, it's gonna affect you. I don't need nobody stroking shit of mine, but I'm not gonna say it on here, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't need nobody stroking my ego. My ego don't need to be stroked. My ego don't need to be stroked. Because I'm like this. Even with this YouTube shit, if you fuck with me, you're gonna fuck with me. If you're not, you're not. Nah. Possum 1010, assume you came from Becky. What's going on? Hit that light for me. You know, I don't need nobody stroking my ego, bro. I mean, I refuse to let anybody stroke my ego. You understand? I don't need my ego stroked at all.
That's why they invented this thing called offline.
And see, that goes to the same
thing. It
does
exist.
That goes the same thing with Judge O'Brien, where he was saying, you know, you got them dudes coming in his courtroom trying to act all hard and stuff, man, but you really pussy. Pussy. You know, you sit up here laying up on these women, they sit up here pacifying your big grown ass, you know what I'm saying, stroke your ego that you just turned out to be shit. You know, you
ain't what Leah just said.
Who?
Brielle
said my girl stroked my ego. Brielle, let me tell you the difference of what you just said. You said your girl. I'm big on words. Your girl's supposed to stroke your ego. In my opinion, she's supposed to do it. But we talk about regular people. We talk about regular people that stroke your ego to do fuck shit instead of. Well, let me say it like this: stroke your ego to do fuck shit, but they won't stroke your ego to do good shit. Let me say it like that. But if you are with a chick and she fucks with you, your girlfriend is supposed to stroke your ego. In my opinion, she's supposed to stroke your ego. So you didn't necessarily have to say that, bro.
If she's not stroking your ego, something wrong.
Right. So you didn't have to say that, bro. You said your girl. This the girl that you got pregnant. And this girl you finna have a baby by. She's supposed to stroke your ego and you supposed to stroke hers, bro. If y'all like this. Y'all better listen to Judge O'Brien. Y'all listen to Judge O'Brien. I can't wait to get that brother on the show again. And I can't wait.
As we said, you could tell a lie 1,000 times and people will believe it. You listen to too.
And I talked about that the other day. You know, we as people do. If you a type of person, I don't need my ego stroked. My wife already know. That's what's up, Mug. Hey, shout out to you, fam. See, this is what I'm saying though. When you got people who constantly make excuses for not getting things done or for not improving themselves, it's a damn shame that you got to tell a lie on top of a lie to yourself to convince yourself of your own bullshit. You lie so much not only to other people, but you lie so much to yourself that you start to believe your own bullshit. So when you start telling yourself and believing and telling yourself time after time again, I can't do it, I can't do this because of that, you're going to start believing your bullshit. You're going to start believing your bullshit. That's all this is. You're going to start believing your bullshit. Trust me. I've been there plenty of times. Matter of fact, I didn't even think Judge Joe was going to show up because it took so long for him to come. But again, he said he thought I was going to call him. But he never gave me permission to call him. But he told me he thought I was going to call him. As soon as I get ready to shut it down, y'all, that brother called and came in and gave wisdom that a young man like me need. Young people in my audience who listen, they need it. Even for old heads who didn't know. certain things about the law. He gave y'all some knowledge. I'm finna be 40 years old. It don't mean I know every damn thing. That man came in and dropped in knowledge. And again, we need more Judge O'Browns. And we need more Judge Greg Mathis. Hell, I'm going for the more Judge Judy. Judge Judy don't bite her tongue for shit. She don't bite her tongue for shit. Judge Maybelline, she don't bite her tongue for shit. All right? She doesn't bite her tongue for nothing.
No.
She don't bite her tongue for nothing. So, yeah, if you're on YouTube to get your ego stroked, then, you know, be prepared for a rude awakening. Be prepared to get your feelings hurt. Because at the end of the day, you're going to find out the hard way that nobody really on this shit really give a fuck about you. Yeah, they may like your content, but that's your content, but do they really like you? Because you can not like me, but still agree with some things that I say. But you probably still hate my guts. So you like my content, but you might not like me. And that's fine, because I'm like this. As long as you get the message. As long as we come to agreement that we both understand the message, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. As long as you understand, I don't care how you got the message. Did I mail it to you? Did I send it through a telegram or a certified letter? Did you get the fucking message? That's all I want to know. Yeah, I got it. Well, we ain't got no more to say. We ain't got no more to say, fam. That's all I want to know. Did you get the message? Did you get the message?
Well, I'm gonna head back to this front. I'm trying to let it be known that a wise man.
All right, famo. All right.
A wise man does not have it all figured out. Every day he wants to learn something.
All right, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
And shout out to the Warriors for blowing up the Cleveland Cavaliers, but politics still say LeBron will win this series.
I heard he
I'm gone.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, you heard? You got hurt?
Yeah.
What? Oh, I wasn't even looking at the game.
I wasn't either. I mean, I really don't give a shit about it. You know, they're not the two teams I wanted. This shit getting dull. It's getting dull, bro. But, you know, man. But anyway, man, appreciate you, fam.
Anytime, bro.
All right.
All right, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so, you know, that's the thing, people. You know, that's my mindset. You know, I refuse to let... Do anybody else want to call in and talk? If not, then I'm going to shut my call in down. Anybody else want to call in and talk? You know, the line is open. You want to call in and talk, you know what I'm saying? Speak on something that you heard that Judge O'Brien said, or you don't want to speak on something in general. You know, the line's still open. I keep it open for about another 5 minutes, but if not, I'll go and shut the phone lines down. But other than that, though, hey, Judge O'Brien, love you for that, brother. Love you for that, famo. Love you for that. Thanks, Clovis. Yours do too. Yours do too. Slap said no thanks. He said no thanks. Clovis, yours is too. Yours is too. Brielle, you say you want me to call you in. Hold on. Let me see if I can find your number. Thanks, Miss Classic. Well, yeah, Brielle, I'm going to call you in, man, and we're going to just leave it at that, brother. And, man, till next time, so let me find you. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, there you go. Right there you go. Not yet, Trace. I'm gonna see what he's saying. what he want to say.
Hey, how you doing, young?
What up, brother? Hold on, let me close out this other. Let me close out my call-in number. Now I say I'm gonna let it stay open for a minute, but go ahead, brother. What you want to say, fam?
I'm live. They can hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, Judge Joe Brown, I've been listening to him on YouTube for a while. He got a very good insight on the community as far as where we need to be at, where we came from, and where we going, and where we will be if we don't stop going where we going. I missed his part of the show, unfortunately, watching the game, LeBron versus the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only one that showed up, but all right, what was it I wanted to say? I forgot, man. My bad, Chris.
Man, you can't come on here and lose your mind like that, bro.
Good.
You fucking up the flow, man.
Cause I just took these clothes out there on the laundry and stuff, so.
You did. Well, I tell you what, let me ask you a
And
question.
I'm walking around the house trying to find the charger.
Let me ask you a
my phone up 10%.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Since
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
all right, so there's a story going out now about the guy who got this married woman pregnant, but she chose to let her husband take care of it. And I'm asking this because you're a person who's about to have a child. What do you think about a situation like that, that this man can't even take care of this child because she fucked around and got pregnant by him, which probably was on purpose? It sounded like a setup to me, but he too dumb to realize he got set up. And the law is on her side, saying that, hey, she can choose whoever she wants to take care of a child, even though that's his child. What do you think about a situation like that, bro?
And he ain't got no say so at all. He can't go to child support court, fight for custody, or none of that.
He did what now?
I say he can't fight for child support. Fight for child support.
He tried to, but the courts told him, it ain't pretty much nothing he could do because it's her choice.
Oh, that's a bad case. This is an illegitimate child, right? Am I correct about that?
As far as I know, he got her pregnant. He got her pregnant, and instead of her letting him be the father to the child, she chose her husband to be the father of the child. I'm gonna do a show on it. Trust me, I'm gonna do a show on it. It might not be tonight, but I'm gonna do a show on it.
That sounds all bad.
It is bad. It is bad because
so she was cheating. She was married and she was cheating in.
Apparently she was, or maybe her and her husband was going through a separation at the time. And she used that to her advantage to go out and do her thing. Zeke said, do one on it, please. Oh, well, I will. Like I said, it probably won't be tonight, but, I'll probably do it sometime this week. And I'm probably going to try to get Priscilla on it because we talked about it, and because she had a difference of opinion. She made some good points. But, yeah, she got pregnant by this guy, and it says that she could totally cut him out. This is
why men need to keep their penis in their pants.
Mm-hmm. Zico said he would jump on the corner. Okay, you more than welcome, Zeke.
We need to demonstrate more self-control because these type of instant things, like, if maybe how should I say this? Because I don't know the whole story. But if he knew that this woman was married, he definitely should have been hitting it raw. Even if they separated, because you don't know where people are going. They break up and make up tomorrow or 9 months later. Or, I know people that have made up years later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The slap says sexualized.
As far as the law being on her side, they on her side because she a woman. And it's more like, see, I didn't get a hold of these like other laws and stuff. And these old laws, I ain't gonna say them because I ain't trying to be too controversial on your show. But whatever condition that woman is in is the condition that the child is going to be in. So when the law is on the woman's side, I can kind of see why.
Hold on, I gotta give a shout out, man. We got Officer Faulkner in the building. Woo! What's up, Charles Faulkner? What's going on, baby? What's going on with you, famo? What's going on with you? Ooh, Miss Class asked a good question. She said, "Who signed the birthday?" Miss Class, I'm gonna save all that for the show. I'm gonna do a show on that, and I want y'all to see that. And to me, it's quite disgusting, you know. And I hate that this world or the system will even allow a woman to do some dumb shit like that. You know, I think that's fair. I think that's totally wrong, especially for a man who's trying to take care of responsibilities, and she do some fuck shit like that. So that's why I say, you know, apparently he was being set up, and he didn't know he was being set up.
Why would her husband want to stay with her? What type of
No, that's the question.
What kind of cup is he?
That's the question.
What kind of couple is he?
Right, that's the question that everybody asks. You know, what husband want to go through some bullshit like that? But hold up now, before we say this, you ever heard of surrogate mothers? People who go out because their husband can't get them pregnant or their boyfriend can't get them pregnant, so they allow other people to fuck them and get them pregnant, and they turn around and when they have birth their child, they give it to them. So you have heard about that, right?
Oh, so they tricked this nigga out his semen, huh?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Miss Claddy said for her husband.
Get her husband, get her pregnant. Nope. She ain't had no children by her husband at all.
Not that I know of, but see, Miss Claddy just said something that made sense. She said if her husband signed it, then the real father has no legal obligation to their child. And Ms. Class, I'm thinking that was happened because the guy said when he found out she was having a baby, he ran to the hospital. And we got to the hospital, she seen this dude, her husband up there. He like, the fuck? You know, and they all over the baby. I'm just like, oh, man, you know. So, Ms. Class, thanks for bringing it up because I'm thinking that probably what happened, you know what I'm saying? He got his punk ass.
Oh, yeah, they didn't trick him out of his baby.
Right. UFO said, I never had sex with an ex again after the relationship is over. You know, well, I think we all should do that, UFO, but, you know, hey, when it's good, sometimes it's good, brother. You know, I'm guilty, you know. But, you know, we don't understand that when we do that, sometimes we put ourselves in a position that we don't want to be in, you know, because they may be thinking one thing, but you think you just want a nut, you know. So we might not want to do that, you know, but we can't help it, you know.
A man in his right mind, if I leave my girlfriend or I leave my wife and we separate and she have a child, I'm not coming back. Period. I'm not taking care of that kid. Any man in his right mind. So there got to be some type of trick to this.
I don't know, bro. You know, I don't think I could do that either, especially if I'm a man that's been faithful to you and I haven't done no wrong to you. I pretty much gave you the world. You know, anything you asked for, you didn't have to want for it. You know, and you still turn around and go out on me like that. There's no reason you could tell me what I did to make you go step out if I was being the man that you wanted me to be. But a lot of females think that even though you're a good guy, you still. So
Chris, what you telling me? If you love the girl that much, and y'all split up, and she went out and had a kid. When y'all came back together, and the man wanted, you would take care of that kid. You would get back with her after she the full-fledged that had a baby on you. It ain't that much. To me, it ain't that much. You my girl, you my world. It's the world to me.
Hold on, let me ask me that question again. You said what now? Ask me that question again.
If you and your ex-girlfriend, y'all broke up or whatever, right? Y'all was going, you know, y'all was married, you and your wife. And when y'all separation, she went and had a baby. You would get back with her, take care of that baby, or like at some point it's too much. All right, I can understand you went out, you screwed somebody while we weren't together. All right, that's different. But you done went out full-fledged, had a baby.
You know what? In that situation, no, I don't think if we separated, you when I had a child, that I could accept you back. You know, I don't think I can do that. I really don't, because we came in as two. We didn't come in as no crowd. this ain't no threes company. You know, we came in as two, you know. I mean, we separated. I mean, like this. I understand a lot of people when they separate, they probably gonna do shit, probably get their rocks off or whatnot. But see, that's gonna be more her part because before she had sex with him, she had all the time in the world for he stuck that third leg up in her to tell him to put on a rubber. Now if she doesn't tell him to put on a rubber,
it got to be a trick.
Hey, y'all get those likes up for me. We got 25 watching. Get them likes up for me. We got 79. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. No, but I don't think, and this is a good discussion too, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish Judge O'Brien was still on while we talking about this. I don't think I could accept no better back after that. You know, if they have a child doing separation, I don't think I could accept no better back because one too many problems. Because what if that nigga, he fall in love with her and he get all ignorant and stalkish doing that shit? We can't have a relationship after you sit up there and did that. Being stalkers and shit.
That's too much.
Right. So
what I'm thinking, it gotta be a trick in the system somewhere.
What if they're a rubber and because and she's in the 1%? I don't understand what you're asking me, Slap. What if they're a rubber and because and she? I don't understand what you're asking me, Slap. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, she had all the time to worry she's gonna fuck somebody, you know, birth control, okay. What if they're a rubber and birth control and she's in the 1%? What's the 1%? Right, me classic, that's probably what it was. They didn't expect for him to want to be in the baby life. You know, but see, he put himself in this situation too, so he can't just really get mad. If I was him, I'd be like, you know, fuck it. You know, he can't get mad because you put yourself in that situation, bro. If you knew the girl was married, you put yourself in that situation.
And the husband obviously is on her side in the situation if he agreeing to take care of the baby.
What happened? Did what now?
I said the husband obviously on her side if he agreeing to take care of the baby.
I do. I don't know, man. I just know that's a fucked up story, you know. But you got to give it to him, though. You ain't going to find too many men that get in that position and then turn around and still want to be a father after you just find out that she's still fucking with the husband, you know? So I don't know if he really want to be a father or he's still trying to be in that woman's life. I had no idea. Could be both. But sometimes...
You got to do this. You got to do the story I sent you, man, about the hit and run.
Oh, yeah. No, I think I did. I think I did a video on that. You ain't see it? I did a video on that.
When you do it, I missed it if you did.
Yeah, I sent it to you. I did a video on that. I sent it to you.
That was a bad situation.
Yeah, that was a bad situation. It was just bad. McClass said, did he know she was married before or did he find out after he got to the hospital? From what the story says, Miss Classy, I believe he knew. He knew. But, you know, it's probably one of those situations where she was lying, talking about, you know, they not getting back together, and then he did this, he did that, and the whole time she probably was setting them up. You know? The whole time she was setting them up, and the fool fell for it. He fell for it. You know, he got a good feel of that gush, and he fell for it. You know? I had a woman told me that one time, no, we doing our thing, we doing our thizzle. And she kept telling me when we doing our thizzle, take out the condom. Like, for what? For what?
Hey, bro, I done had a girl.
I bullshit not. She kept doing that, man. We doing our thizzle. And she kept saying, look, you need to take that condom off. No, I don't. I ain't seen you in God knows when. So, within the years, I had not seen you, girl. And I'm telling what the fuck you been doing. And for you to sit up there and tell me to take the condom off, then that means you must let every nigga who fucked you without a condom. I'm not going for that. And you already got kids, and I believe it's a trash you want a kid by me. You're not finna set me up, baby. Hell no, you already got multiple kids already. Fuck you. You're not finna set me up like that.
He said, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
You ain't about to set me up.
You not finna fuck me up like that because it seems like every time a dick touch you, you get pregnant. And I'm not finna be the one to get you pregnant. If I'm gonna have a baby, it definitely wasn't gonna be by her. Definitely wasn't gonna be by her. But go ahead, brother. What you were saying? Go ahead. I'm gonna get ready to shut this down in a minute. Go ahead, brother.
Man, bro, this is the thing, right? I wanted to say that too. I just didn't want to go too far in detail, and I can say some off the hook shit. So fuck it. I'm gonna say it. depending on who she fucked. Because I find out you fucked such and such while we went together, and I know what type of ringer that motherfucker have been through. Shit, I don't want to touch you no more. I had an ex-girlfriend I caught sucking dick, and she asked me all the time, "Can we get back together?" I ain't touched your ass in about good 5-6 years because you was sucking dick. Ain't no telling how many dicks you just sucked since then. I ain't getting back with you, and I don't even know what's in your mind to make you fix your mouth to say some shit like that. I don't know what even. I want to touch that girl.
Hold up, Bria. I understand what you're saying, bro. But check this out, though. Let me drop you with this knowledge, and I don't want to go in and there, so I don't want to turn some of this going good into a porn or talk. But let me let me say this to you, brother. You saying that you won't get back with her because you don't know how many things she sucked while y'all broke up. I get what you're saying, but think about the men she been with before you met her. Period. Oops. Point. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Think about the people she was with before she met you. Think about the people she met you.
I think about that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think about all that. And before I get with somebody, this is things that I think about, bro.
I forgot what that word
I think about how easy it is. I think about how easy it is for me to get it. You get what I'm saying?
Miss Class,
I know.
I done seen them emoji. What word you put in to do that? I forgot because I think it's funny every time I see somebody put them in. You see the females going, "Oh my God!" What word did you put in to make that happen? You gotta look at it. That was making me laugh too. She did one of them emojis where the girl put their hand over their face. I don't know if you've seen it before, but I forgot what word that you do to make that shit come up with showing the girl putting their hand over their face. I forget which one. Face palm. Okay. it ain't face palm, but it's a word that you put in, and that's one of the things. Because it'll pop on my phone. You know, that's a regular. Oh, she said it's a regular emoji, so she put.
Don't know emojis.
Yeah, she said, "Oh my God," and she got the finger, said disclaimer. But seriously though, man, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, Tracy, but think about this though, brother. I mean, we worry about the fact that what they doing when they broke up with us, man, but we never think about, what they did. See, Omar did it too. But we don't never worry about the people they been with before they got with us. And just like Omar said, we do stuff too, that females don't think about, but I guess it's just a men thing, because I never heard a female come to a man and say, "How many coochie you done ate before you got with me?" I never heard that before. Now, I had a female ask me before, talking about,
Now, you know why I'm going to explain to you why us as men don't kind of worry about what they did before us. Because no matter how many times you ask them, how many men have you slept with, it's always going to be 4.
She did it again.
So we already got a pre-notion that it's 4. So we move on with 4. Anything that pop up is just special to us. And before you get it, it's gonna be 4. And before you get it, she gonna tell you that she ain't had sex in a while. I ain't had sex in a month.
Miss Class said another disclaimer. And Mug said, "If I'm taking the condom, I'm gonna put it in your throat." Oh man, y'all cut this shit out. Y'all cut this shit out.
Think about it, Chris.
But yeah, man. But no, I'm just saying. Okay, Becky. Thank y'all so much. But just think about it, bro. If you're gonna think about that, then you need to think about how many people they've been with before they met us. But that's just something that I just don't sit up there and think about. What did you do with another person before me? Because quite frankly, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. So. And they just like somebody asked me a long time ago saying, how many people have you slept with throughout your whole life? The fuck? What kind of question is that? And why you want to know? Why do you want to know?
How many people you slept with in your whole life?
Yeah. Why the fuck you want to know that?
That's a fair question to know if you got a whore or not.
That ain't no fair question. Hell no, because you're gonna ask me that, then I got the right to ask you that question right back. But see, if we ask the question, what you trying to say I'm a hoe? That's not what I said. I just asked you a question. I don't think that's a fair question. I think that's a dumbass
Man,
question.
pretty much, man, a man know what he got by how she present herself.
Right. Right, but you know.
A woman, you can tell what type of woman to slept with a lot of men and what type of woman haven't. You can tell what type of woman that got standards with the men that she sleep with to the ones that don't have standards.
Yeah,
so a man would know what he got when he's dealing with it. Other than that, you already know what type of woman you got. You don't put your dick in that raw.
Exactly. But on a good note, man, how far along your girl is, bro?
All right.
No, I'm asking you, how far along is your girl in the pregnancy? How far along is she?
Oh. It'd be kind of hard for me to hear you sometimes.
Okay, how far?
She's 6 months.
How far? Oh, she's 6 months. Okay, cool.
She's 6 months pregnant.
All right, bet, man, bet. Well, congratulations.
I'm happy, bro.
Yeah, congratulations to both y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, brother. You're gonna have the experience of being a father, man. You know, you say y'all having a girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bet. What y'all gonna name her? Or have y'all come up with a name yet?
We would take it Adora.
Okay. Did that. Well, you got my blessings, brother. You know what I'm saying?
And we gonna give her my name for her middle name.
That's what's up, brother, man. Congratulations to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I trust you.
I got a niece named Ayana Brielle.
Mm-hmm.
So we was gonna kind of, since my niece got my middle name, I was gonna give my daughter my middle name, and then both their names begin with an A. So.
Okay.
I think that's cute.
That's what's up. But both of y'all got my blessing. Was she just listening to us? Was she just listening to me and you? Was she just listening to me and you, your girl? Is she there with you?
Is she here with me now?
Yeah, was she listening to me and you talk? I know sometimes you say she be listening with you.
Yeah, no, she ain't here right now, but she listen with me all the time. Most of the time she be here listening with me. She know who you are. She know who you are, who DJ Just J is.
Okay.
She know the difference.
Okay. Bet. Well, tell her I appreciate her ears. She probably gonna love this one then if she see the replay. She gonna love this one, bro. I can't wait to watch the replay. But Brielle, man, thank you so much, man. You know, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, brother. Even when we don't agree, man, it's a pleasure to talk to you, fam.
Man, look, Chris, if we don't agree, you still my brother. And that's how I look at it, man.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm a real dude. I don't be on no bull crap. If there's some funny shit in the game, I don't fuck with it. I fuck with you, Chris.
I appreciate it, bro.
With that, I say peace. And I hit you up on some other stuff in the background.
Right,
peace,
no
brother.
No problem. Thanks, man. Thanks, fam.
All right.
Appreciate it. Sorry about that, y'all. I didn't mean for it to go like that. I didn't mean for the conversation to go like that, but it kind of went there or whatnot. But ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much. A good show. Judge O'Brien, man, I love you for this, brother. Much respect. And I will definitely be calling you to do a part two. Man. And thanks to everybody who had came through. Thanks for the people who called in. Thanks for the people who donated. You know, I really appreciate that, man. Show your boy love like that. But Class says she check all of them in for sex. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to put in an application in for some of y'all. Then put in an application. Put in an application to get with some of y'all. Other than that, though, man, hey, thank y'all so much, man. You know, thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for coming in. You know, man, had a whole lot of people that came in. We need to do that more often. But other than that, though, I'm gonna try to do that show about what we talked about earlier. I'm gonna try to do it sometime this weekend. Hopefully, I can get Princella on it. If I get her on it, I think it'd be a good show. Kind of like it have a perspective from a man and a perspective from a woman. Tracy says she want me to shout out Ashley Michelle. Ashley Michelle, hello. How you doing out there? How you doing out there? Much love to you. Much love to you. Again, Miss Classy, thank you so much. Cause I could have sworn I thought I lost you because I thought the way you left the last show, like, damn, what did I do? I thought I lost Miss Classy. And I was trying to find you because I don't remember what's your name on Facebook. And I was trying to find you, like, damn, what the fuck I do? You know? What the fuck I do? But you still here. That's all that matters. You one of the ones that I would love to keep here in my chat. Thank you. Thank you. Slap, man, you know I fuck with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You always coming in or whatnot. And that's all I can say, man. You know, hey, much love to y'all, man. Much love to every last one of y'all, okay? On that, y'all take care of yourself and each other. Enjoy the rest of your night. If don't nobody else love you, Chris Thorns showing the fuck do. Holla!